Maybe it has happened to you before that you really wanted to take pictures, you've been excited, you haven't taken pictures for a while, but then in the end you just didn't do it, you stayed at home for whatever reason. So today I'd like to discuss how you can stay creative when you feel like you don't have any time left between work and your family life. So I remember a few years ago when I was feeling a little bit annoyed because I felt like I never had time for doing anything creative, for taking any photos. The problem was that really I wasn't using my time very well. So let's take, for example, my lunch breaks. I would sit in front of my computer, just eat there. Maybe I would go to the cafeteria. I would watch a YouTube film or something. But really, I wasn't using that time that well. And at the time I was thinking, well, you need a break, you need a little bit of a rest. So it's entirely natural that you would do that. And then one day I went for a walk at the botanical garden, which is quite close to my work. And to be honest, I hadn't even realized that it was there. And while I was walking, I noticed that it was really pretty and everything. But I also noticed some people who were taking pictures of birds, you know, with a big lens in front of their camera. And suddenly I realized, well, actually, I could make this work and come out for half an hour or 45 minutes during my lunch breaks and make use of that short time. At the end of the lunch break, I felt really quite hopeful and walked back to my office thinking, well, next time I'll come back here with my camera. So really what I'm trying to say is that a lot of us are waiting for permission or until we have enough time to create art or to take photos or whatever you like to do creatively. But that time, that ideal time, never turns up. So I think it's much better to make use of the margins of a busy life when you've got 30 minutes here and there, rather than wait for the perfect time. I'd like to give you an example of a typical day for me and to show that the perfect time just doesn't happen. On a normal day, I will wake up at some point between 5 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. I will go down into the kitchen, empty the dishwasher, prepare breakfast for the children. Around 7 a.m. after saying bye to my family, I start walking to the station, take the train, rush for work, maybe arrive a couple of minutes late, feeling stressed already. I work through the morning. Then it's my lunch break. Oh, there. Sometimes I think it might be a good idea to just skip my lunch break so I get more done. That continues until the evening when I have my commute back home. And when I get home, obviously the family is waiting, we're eating together, then I put the children to bed, and before you know it, it's 9:30 in the evening, I'm exhausted and the day is over already. It would be very easy, or that's what I did in the past, to think there's just no point, it's not possible for me to take any photos, especially because then on the weekends I've got more chores that I haven't been able to do during the week. And even when we're not so busy, our brains can really lead us astray. I remember a weekend when it was relatively quiet and the children had gone to see their grandparents. Instead of going out with my camera, what did I do? I decided to clean up my garage. Yeah, because it was in a real mess, and obviously you can't live with a messy garage. I spent the whole day sorting that out, going to the tip, and by the end of the day the garage was very pretty and I was ready for another busy week at work, but I hadn't taken any photographs at all. So I think that we're definitely busy. I'm not denying that, but quite often we're using that busyness as some kind of shield to protect us from the feeling that we get when we're feeling vulnerable and creating art. And I remember another time a few years ago when my children were still pretty small and I wasn't even sleep deprived or anything. I had some time, I could have gone out with my camera, everything was ready. I hadn't touched my camera for a few weeks, so I was really quite excited. In the end, I didn't go out because I was feeling hungry. And I was thinking, well, if you're hungry right now, you're going to be hypoglycemic if you go out. So better to prepare something to eat now. By the time I'd eaten, it was a bit later in the day. So maybe it was just too late to go out now, you know. My brain was basically finding excuses for me to not go out. But really what was happening, the reason why I didn't go out wasn't because I was hungry or because it was too late or anything like that. I think underlying there was a certain fear that I I wasn't good anymore because I hadn't done it for too long. I'm too rusty. I'm going to feel ridiculous. I'm going to feel overwhelmed. I think all of that was going on a more subconscious level. I was looking for excuses, convenient excuses to be comfortable and stay at home. But the problem is the cost of doing this over the long term. It has made me feel a little bit grumpy or sad, to not do my art. Like I'm not feeling fulfilled anymore. So here's an example of what I did at the time to be able to start taking pictures again. First, I realized that maybe I was a little bit scared. And once I had acknowledged that, I went on to the practical part. When my son was still a toddler, I realized that during the day I wanted and I had to be there for my family. I got up really early in the morning in order to go up a mountain and be there for sunrise, take my pictures and then come home just after they had gotten up. On one hand, I felt a little bit tired during the day afterwards, but on the other side, it was perfect because while I was hiking at night, my family was safe at home, sleeping, and I was able to do what fulfilled me the most. And the great thing about that was that I got to the summit. It was really quiet, except for the birds singing. I was able to catch some great light and some beautiful photos as well. And I feel like I was more balanced later during the day when I was able to spend time with my family and play with my children. So the takeaway message I would really leave you with is that logistics matter. When can you make time for 30 minutes to do some drawing, take some pictures, do some other form of art? This is not selfish. This is giving you the possibility to feed your creative self. And that in turn is going to help you be more present for your family and be the best version of yourself. So the sun has just come out and actually I'm filming this in the botanical garden during my lunch break. So I'm trying to practice what I'm preaching. So something else that might be a problem and that has definitely been concerning me is what I would like to call the guilt trap. For a long time, I was thinking that it would be frivolous to enjoy my photography and try to create art when I have so many responsibilities. I imagine that people would say to me, that's so selfish, you can't do that. Shouldn't you be working? Shouldn't you be looking after your family? Shouldn't you be doing chores and this and that? I was really putting a lot of pressure on myself. But then I realized that I wasn't being selfish. I was just doing something which was really important to me, like filling up the creative well. The guilt is lying to you. It's not true. You're not being selfish at all. You're doing something important which will help you be more present for your family. Because when I don't create any photographs, when I don't do anything creative, I become grumpy. I become really grumpy, and I'm sure that's not nice for me, my family and for my children. And I don't want to be like that. I want to spend time with them, be able to play with them and be there 100%. As I'm still very busy, I still have a job and family and everything. This is what I'm doing now. For taking my pictures, I mainly do that at the weekend nowadays. My children actually like going outdoors, so I try to combine that. We go for hikes together, I take my photos, I just have my camera fixed here on a quick release plate. My children are playing, walking next to me. I sometimes give them my little action cam so they can make their own little videos, and they really enjoy that. And I love seeing when I edit them afterwards and put them together like a little film. So at the weekend I take these photos, and then for editing the photos, what I do is that usually I'm up quite early in the morning, and even during the week I take maybe half an hour, 1 hour to edit a few photos. That's how I edit my videos as well, by the way. I try to go to bed in good enough time because I don't want to be tired for work the next day. But from Thursday to Saturday sometimes I stay up a bit later in the evening and edit my photos. The lesson here really is to see how we can get organized and how we can organize our logistics so that we're not too tired, that we stay healthy, but also be creatively active. So it takes a little bit of organization, it takes a little bit of discipline. So here's the reality: you'll always be busy. Life is like that, and when you're not busy, your brain will find something to fill up your time with. Don't wait, I would say. If you want to take photos, if you want to do something creative, just start now, even if it's not perfect, even if you're feeling rusty. And imagine, how would you like to feel and be in 5 years' time if you consistently create art regularly, if you take photos regularly, if you paint, if you draw regularly, then in 5 years' time you will have created so much work compared to if you're just working for the perfect time. So I'm not saying that you need to get up at 4 a.m. to climb mountains like I did a few years ago, but what I am saying is that you should give yourself permission to create bad work, that you should give yourself permission to feel vulnerable again, and that you should give yourself permission to feel like a beginner again. Even if you have just 20 minutes this week, start now. Because if you wait for the perfect conditions, they will not happen anytime soon. So let me know in the comments if you've felt stuck like this between too many family obligations, work and stuff like that in life. And let me know as well if you found some good solution that could be helpful for all of us here. Have a great day and click on this link to see you in the next video.